Realizing he was distracting me, Tamaki snatches the coins from the air and drops them into his pocket, throwing me a smirk. A provocative and seductive smirk. Tamaki isn't gay. He just enjoys pushing buttons and stringing people along. Miffed, I look away. The interior of the plane is quiet. The only thing I hear through my non-augmented ears is the low drone of the engines. This apparent silence is deceptive. Judging from the continuous smirking of Tamaki's personnel, I can tell they're sending silent messages to each other. They did open a channel for me, too, but since I entered the cabin, not one person has engaged me in conversation. Not that I care. They can keep their stupid jokes. Rex Tamaki, contrasting with his gorilla-like colleagues with their muscles bursting out of their shirts, looks almost slight. But you can't trust looks these days. No one's strength is in proportion to their muscles anymore. Since he lost his Olympic gold medal 15 years ago in a doping scandal, Tamaki's body has undergone several phases of modification. The current version, now before me, is clearly the handiwork of someone who treats rules and regulations with contempt. The alarm inside my head strikes 2200. For the next 18 hours, judicial power of the Gondol Quarter will transfer from Tamoy's government to the LK Group. Don't even ask me what I had to do flitting between islands, trying to make this happen. Tamaki and his gang, almost synchronized, get up from their seats. I feel a kind of floating sensation as we begin to descend, and the golden hatch in front of me spins open. Our hummingbird circles over the Gondol Quarter at 300 meters and descends like an elevator. Through the widening hatch, I can see the coastline village that looks like a scattering of plastic boxes. As the hatch widens and the plane begins to slow down at 15 meters, the Tamaki gang begin jumping off one by one. Despite their bulky bodies, they move with such grace that their feet hardly make a sound as they land on the roofs of the buildings and disappear into the village. I remain secured in my seat, seatbelt fastened, looking on. Hot air blows through the hatch into the interior. It smells of the village. Food, fish, excrement, trash, people. In that mess of boxes are thousands of people breathing, eating, excreting, sleeping, vomiting, copulating, and popping out babies. My insides turn. Shall we have some fun, Mac? Tamaki's voice, and like all voices that come over the worm, it's oddly separated from ambient noise. The voice of a god stripped of its sanctity, with only the monstrosity remaining. An augmented reality screen blinks on before me. Red and blue dots stud the village. The blue dots are LK's security operatives. The red dots are Patusans of the Liberation Front, who 1 month earlier had assassinated 3 Doran party figures in Pala. I turn to a second window, where I have a POV of the blue dots. White foam is flung in the face of a red dot, who holds up an AK-1 at the face of a blue dot. Another red dot throws a fist at a blue dot and is flung backward by one retaliatory kick. A third red dot has already bitten down on a gun and fired off half his face. A blue dot is ripping children off his body, ragamuffins who have flung themselves on him like a school of sharks. I go back to the first window. Now there isn't a single red dot on its own. They're all surrounded by blue dots and, as of a few seconds ago, are moving toward a yellow dot in the village. The current time is 11:13. Tamaki had predicted the operation would be over in 15 minutes. Our hummingbird, its hatch still open, moves toward the yellow dot. A small plaza in the village, just big enough for the hummingbird to land and for people to move around the plane. When I disembark, I ignore the men under restraint whose faces are messy with foam and who are being dragged onto the plane. I walk toward where the last red dot is at a standstill at a northern building. The children who had only a moment ago swarmed the security.